Hey Internet, how are you doing everyone? I'm here tonight with a fresh new Unearthed Arcana. This is the subclasses part 2, a continuation of the Unearthed Arcana released maybe a few weeks ago, I believe. We reviewed the last one and I decided that I might as well review this one. I didn't have much time to go over it because it just came out about an hour ago, but I wanted to give it to you as early as I can so we won't miss out on anything and we can just, we'll view this together. First, we have our Bard, College of Creation. Bards believe the multiverse was given existence through word and sound, esoteric harmonies that continue to resound through existence, the song of creation. The bards of this college draw on this ancient power through performance of dance, music, or song to bring into being what they need most. Members of this college might have developed their powers during experiences on other worlds or planes of existence. Those who have seen the commonalities of multiple realities might have learned how to tap into truth's most mortal glimpse only for a moment. Alternatively, the bard might find themselves out of step with their own home plane, reality or time, their connection to elsewhere allowing them to manipulate the space around them. Regardless of where bards draw their powers from, other performers might be drawn to them, either to learn their secrets or to put an end to their dangerous manipulation of the song of creation. So, first one, note of potential. You can manipulate the song of creation to summon a floating musical note of possibility. This is actually an enhancement to the bardic inspiration. It gives them extra abilities when the target uses the inspiration, they can use the note. Whenever you give a creature a bardic inspiration die, you can create a note of potential. The note orbits within 5 feet of the creature. The note is a tiny object that is intangible and invulnerable, and it lasts until the bardic inspiration die is lost. A creature with a note can use it in the following ways. You can either use it as a note of destruction, which immediately deals more damage. You can deal an extra damage when you use it, extra thunder damage, equal to the number rolled on the bardic die. That's kind of cool. Note of protection. Immediately after the creature rolls the bardic inspiration die and adds it to the saving throw, the creature can extend the note to gain temporary hit points, equal to the number rolled on the bardic inspiration die plus your charisma modifier. So it's the bard one. It's kind of strong. I like this one, provided the creature doesn't already have temporary hit points. They do not stack, as we know very well. Note of ingenuity. When the creature rolls the bardic inspiration die to add it to an ability check, the creature can expend the note to roll the bardic inspiration die again and choose which roll to use. That's extra useful if you roll a 1 on that d10. That's kind of neat. I like that one. Cool combo. Strong 3rd level ability right there. Animating performance is the 6th level College of Creation feature. Your mastery over the Song of Creations allow you to magically bring items to life. As an action, you can target a large or smaller non-magical item you can see within 30 feet of you and animate it. The animated item uses the dancing item stat block, which I believe is in the next page, and is under your control for 1 hour or until it is reduced to 0 hit points. In combat, the item shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It can move and use its reaction on its own, but the only action it takes... So you basically... it takes only the dodge action unless you guide it to do something, and that takes a bonus action. You can dash, disengage, help, hide, or search with the animated item. So yes, you can basically use your bonus action, and you can use it once, and you can use a 3rd level spell slot or higher to use this feature again once you have used it once. But you can only have one at a time. So this is the stats. Pretty cool. 16 armor class. Moderate amount of hit points, which scales with level. It's very fast. And it deals 1d10 plus your charisma as a bonus action. It's fairly powerful for a bard. I don't remember anything else like that from other abilities except maybe College of Swords, but that's cool. And the cool part about it is it immediately can take a dodge action after using this attack, which means it will be hard to hit this this item. Just put it in the face of something and let it tank for you, I suppose. It's an interesting work for a bard. I'll give them that. That's an interesting idea. A little reminding of the animate object spell, but this I believe is a bit weaker than summoning a cloud of 10 daggers, which is ridiculously powerful. The next ability is Performance of Creation. Your performance can manipulate the magic of creation, briefly transforming the world around you. As an action, you can create one non-magical item of your choice in an unoccupied space within 10 feet of you. The item must appear on the surface or in a liquid that can support it. The gold value of the item can be more than 20 times your bard level, which can be quite a lot. Tiny glimmering intangible notes float around it, and the creature can faintly hear music when touching it. For example of items you can create, so you basically create any item in the player's handbook that is worth 20 times your bard level. It lasts until your next action unless you use your action to maintain it. So you can hold it up to a minute or even an hour. Yep. It needs to exist for a number of hours equal to your bard level. So if you concentrate on it, you can hold this new item you created for several hours. Once you create an item with this feature, you can do so again until you finish a long rest or until you expand the spell slot to 5th level or higher to use this feature. You can only have one item created by this feature at a time. If you use this action and already have an item, it disappears. It's interesting. Remember the time when Invisible Animated Table killed my character? Yep, that happened. That was funny. You gained an inspiration for that one. Animated tables can be quite dangerous for a level 1 character. Yeah. Anyway, this is interesting. I don't see... It's stronger than the creation spell, because the creation spell, if I remember correctly, and the chat might correct me if I'm wrong, can only create things like ropes and non-living materials, or you can create like metals or gems, or you can create full actual intricate items. You can only create some small things. This actually lets you create many things. You can create documents, or even I think a rowboat you can create with this, which is kind of cool and can be cool in a situation. If you have an idea what can we use this feature in chat, just let me know. It's interesting to see what can you come up with. So overall, this bard is interesting. I really like the note of potential, the music note, the accompanies the inspiration. It's very cool. Might see play. It's overall balanced, not too powerful. Might even be weak. This last ability is mostly fluff, I believe. Interesting. Let's go on to the next one. We have a new cleric domain, the Unity domain. A sense of oneness shines at the heart of healthy communities. Whether bound together by friendship, blood, fate, or some other uniting force, the gods of unity deepen such bonds and delight in their strength. Clerics of these gods preside over marriages and other familial bonding customs, but they also nurture the emotional bonds of friendship and camaraderie. I learn words reading this document. Their divine blessing bolster and protect allies in battle through these deep bonds and turn aside malign influences. So here's a list of deities. I like this. I like that addition. That's good. List of deities that clerics can pray to gain access to this domain. So we have an elven goddess, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Greek, Athena works perfectly. We can also go for Juno for the Roman, also god of marriage. Baronar True Silver, the dwarven goddess. Bolary and Eberron, plenty of others. I don't know them all, but they're there's a good. Or here, Heimdall in the Norse mythology. That's good. That's a good list. Very useful if you actually want to play one of these. Recommend it. Check it out. The main spell. So here's, like always with clerics, they gain a few extra spells that they don't need to prepare. So this one gains Heroism, Shield of Fate, Thematic, Aid, Warding Bond. It's spells that you can cast on others, on allies. Beacon of Hope, perfect. Sending, definitely. Aura of Purity, Guardian of Fate, Greater Restoration, and Rari's Telepathic Bond, which I believe is a wizard-only spell, or a wizard and bard, something like that. That's a interesting spell to give to clerics. I'll give them that. That's and a good call for Unity deity. Athena, Aphrodite is a better choice, isn't she? Aphrodite is goddess of love. Athena, I believe, holds over marriage and familial bond, and I think Aphrodite is more passion, and this is more about the unity, the almost community. So Arathis could also probably work with this one. Emboldening bond. You can forge an empowering bond between allies. As an action, you can choose 2 willing creatures you can see within 30 feet of you. This can include yourself and create a magical bond between them. While either bonded creature is within 30 feet of the other, the creature can roll a d4 and add a number roll to an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw it makes. Each creature can add a d4 no more than once per turn. The bonds last for an hour or until you use this feature again. You can use this feature once and you will gain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. Or you can expend a spell slot to do it again. So you create a bond between 2 characters, and this, if I remember correctly, this bond becomes stronger with levels. So right now they can add a d4, and later on it becomes stronger. So channel divinity, as we used to, you can use your channel divinity to protect your allies through the strength of your shared bonds. When a creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to choose a number of other willing creatures you can see, up to a number of creatures equal to your wisdom modifier. Distribute the damage taken between the original target and the chosen creatures. Each creature must take at least 1 damage. Apply any damage resistances or vulnerability of the creature involved after you distribute the damage. So this is like someone takes heavy damage, you use your reaction and share the burden with the party, or someone takes tons of fire damage and you just throw it at someone who has resistance. That's a cool ability. It's a reactionary ability. In some situations, this can be very powerful, especially if that blow would knock someone unconscious. It's cool. It's very cool. Let's see what we have in chat. There are 7 different words for love in ancient Greek, each for a different kind of love. Interesting. So, yeah. Cool. Good to know. Protective bond. 6th level Unity Domain feature. The bond forged between people shields them from harm. While either creature chosen for your emboldening bond feature is within 30 feet of the other, the creature can use this reaction to grant resistance to all damage to the other creature when the other creature takes damage. So basically, someone takes damage, one of the bond, you use your reaction and protect them. That's cool, and each of them can do it on the other. It lasts until the end of the current turn, which might be useful for multiple attacks on the same target, but does not last for a round, which would make it, I think, a little too powerful. Potent spellcasting, we've seen this before. You add your wisdom to cantrip damage. That's useful. Enduring Unity, that's the last ability. This one is a cool one. The bonds you create endure across vast distances. Creatures affected by your emboldening bond feature gains its benefit, as well as those of your protective bond feature, when they are on the same plane of existence as each other. So the radius is just the same plane. You can use any of the abilities. Additionally, when a creature chosen for your emboldening bond is reduced to 0 hit points, Their bonded partner gains the following benefits for 1 minute or until the creature regains at least 1 hit point. They have advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws. Cool. They gain resistance to all damage. And as an action, the creature can touch their bonded partner to expend and roll any number of hit dice. Their bonded partner regains a number of hit points equal to the total roll. So, someone is down, I can just throw in all of my hit dice to bring them straight up. This can sum up to quite a lot. Level 17, when you have that feature, you put it on a barbarian, he can throw in 17d12 healing to a downed ally, and you can use the emboldening bond again as you expend the spell slot on another target. So this only works if one of them is reduced to 0 hit points when the bond is active, so you can't abuse it using that. It's an interesting design, it's powerful, but not too much overall. I like it a lot. It's a cool domain. I would definitely use it and want to bring it into the game. Got you back, fam. Definitely got you back, fam. The next one and the last one for this Unearthed Arcana is the Sorcerer, the Clockwork Soul. This one comes from Mechanus. That's an interesting spin on what we've seen so far. A plane of utmost order, Mechanus is a realm overseen by a godlike entity called Primus, whose actions are inscrutable and calculations vast. You or someone from your lineage might have become entangled in one of the machinations of the leader of the Modrons. Perhaps you were exposed to an artifact created by Primus, or your ancestor took part in the Great Modern March in some way. The power of Mechanus can seem strange and alien to others, but for you, it is a part of a vast and glorious system that others can't comprehend. At your option, you can pick from or roll on the manifestations of Mechanus table to create a way your connection to the plane manifests while you are casting a spell. This is interesting. You cast a spell and this adds to the fluff when you cast a spell. I like it when people describe the spells that they cast, and this helps us understand how can we do that. Inspire us on ways we can do that. Thematically and mechanically, I think you could build a Unity Cleric and join up with another player and create a Barbarian Cleric duo with some very interesting dynamics and tactics. Yes, definitely very strong there. The leader of Modrons isn't such an underwhelming title. Well, this guy is the ruler of Mechanus, is a powerful entity. And yeah, this is a bit leader of Modrons. Yeah, I suppose. It's a little underwhelming. You learn an additional spells when you reach certain levels in this class. This is unique for sorcerers. You don't see it, I believe, anywhere else. Each spell counts as a sorcerer spell for you, but it doesn't count against the number of sorcerer spells you know. So you gain more spells like Cleric would, but this actually gives you a whole plethora of spells that you can cast right away. Alarm, protection from good and evil, from evil and good, find traps, heat metal, counter spell, yes, glyph forwarding, wonderful, Arcani, perfect, Otilux resilient sphere. This is a underused and very funny spell used correctly. Animate objects and wall of force. Strong choices. This makes this sorcerer a very powerful choice and gives him this versatility that many sorcerers need to give up when they pick this class. Sorcerers in general don't have loads of spells they know at a given time. They can cast a lot of them. This changes things, which makes it interesting. Restore balance. Your connection to the plane of absolute order allows you to equalize chaotic moments. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of you is about to roll a d20 with advantage or disadvantage, you can use your reaction to prevent the roll from being affected by advantage and disadvantage. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma, and you regain expended uses when you finish a long rest. Like, you do not get advantage. You do not get disadvantage. Like, everything will be as it should be. Definitely keeping the law of the universe intact. Radiant Soul sorcerers, if I remember correctly, can choose from an expanded spell list. They can choose cleric spells in addition to sorcerer spells, but they do not get them as spells they know. Bulwark of Law. You can imbue a creature with a shimmering shield of order. As an action, you can expend 1 to 5 sorcery points to create a magical ward around yourself or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you. The ward lasts until you finish a long rest or until you use this feature again. The ward is represented by a number of d8s equal to the number of sorcery points spent to create it. When the warded creature takes damage, it can use its reaction to spend a number of those dice, roll them, and reduce the damage taken by a total of the spent dice. So you create a shield using sorcery points, which sorcerers have aplenty. So each sorcery points, on average, reduces 4.5 damage. Interesting trade. Can save someone's life. Thing is, you can cast it again once it's expanded. Having it on yourself, I mean, going into combat with less sorcery points is not terrible for sorcerers. Most encounters. I'm not talking about a long day of adventuring, but if you go into battle, preparing this ahead, pretty strong. Requires a reaction, but can save some damage. That's cool. I like this one. Interesting. You should choose okay, divine. You learn an additional spell based on that affinity as shown below. If you saw it doesn't count against your number of souls. Spells no. Replace the spell. You must replace it with a spell from the cleric spell list. Huh. So you just gain more spells? Maybe I'm interpreting it wrong. You learn one additional spell base, but it doesn't count against your spell number. It doesn't count against your number. No, so yeah, basically. So Divine Soul has that as well. I stand corrected. One more spell. This one gets 10. Yep. Alright. Trance Order. You gain the ability to enter a state of clockwork consciousness as a bonus action. For the next minute, attack rolls against you can't benefit from advantage, and whenever you make an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10. It's like reliable talent for sorcerers. Once you use this action, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest or until you expend 5 sorcery points to use it again. That's very strong. 10 most times plus your spell attack bonus will hit most things. So that's a pretty solid feature to have. Yeah, that's good. And thematically it works well. Everything settles into place for this one. Works well. Design wise, the ideas here are well made. I like the ideas behind this, even if some of them feel like they need tweaking. And the last one, which I remember from the brief reading I had, is a bit ridiculous. You summon spirits of order to restore balance around you. As an action, you summon the spirits in a 30-foot cube originating from you. The spirits look like Mordrons or other constructs of your choice. The spirits are intangible and invulnerable, work fast and efficiently, and create the following effects within the cube before vanishing. The spirits restore up to 100 hit points divided as you choose among any number of creatures of your choice in the cube. Wow. Any damaged object entirely in the cube are repaired. That's just neat. Every spell of 6th level or lower ends on creatures and objects of your choice in the cube. This can be very powerful on some situations, but it is situational. The strong ability here is this one. You divide hit points, but it wouldn't be as strong if you could not regain it. You can use it. You can actually use it again if you spend 7 sorcery points. This is so powerful. You can turn after turn, and by level 18 you have what, 18 probably sorcery points, so you can use it 3 times in succession. This is a bit ridiculous. I would remove that part if it were, or reduce this. If I were to design this, or if anyone in my campaign would play this, I would probably have to tweak that. But overall, it's a cool one. It's a very interesting one. The concept of Clockwork Soul is interesting on its own. I like it that sorcerers now have, like, I'm a sorcerer with an aberrant mind, or the Clockwork Soul, or you can give them from the elemental planes, or you draw them out from the planes, you learn their origin of power and build them around that. That inspires other ideas. We can have sorcerers from well, the Hells is an obvious one. We can have, like, from Limbo, chaos in a different way than the wild magic. I don't know. Many interesting possibilities from this idea here. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, friends, you are awesome. Keep being awesome. And I'll see you beyond the screen.